Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack Open 2015 here in Valencia, Spain. We're getting a quick look at one of our players in our next series we'll be jumping into, and a little bit off in the distance, the man that has thrown a big wrench into this group with that American flag stretched across his back. We've got Lilbow versus Bunny. They're currently in this series. For those of you tuning in, just a little bit curious as to why we're jumping into game 2. This is a really important match, a lot of implications on the line as Bunny and Lilbow are neck and neck just outside the top 16 for BlizzCon points. This is a really, really important match for both of them. And right now, Bunny is up 1-0. We did not want to not show you these games, so that is why we're going in halfway. This is a pretty big match, guys.
This is a big one. It's like one of the foreigner hopes that could make it to WCS at the end of the year. Like, they have to do well here, especially, and it's crazy that they have a chance, or one of them is going to be knocked out this early on, and they're going to be losing all these potential points that they could make.
Yeah, who would have thought Arium coming ahead 2-0 in the group, really throwing that wrench, as you were saying. It's kind of crazy, but this is the position we're in. It's the round of 64, and we're going to lose one of these guys.
Yeah, it's been especially interesting because if you try to follow the results of like Arium, he's actually too young to be allowed to play in WCS. So you don't actually know how good he is because he's not allowed to try to qualify for anything. Not even, like IEMs or anything like that. So he comes into this tournament, clears first place in his group. It's an elimination match. Like, these guys are super close, Wax.
Yeah, I mean, outside the WCS points BlizzCon implications, this is like an unofficial title match for Best Foreigner. Like, they had that match at WCS, and that was like the moment where basically she just wrested away the title belt from Bunny in that 3-1 beatdown. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, because in that series, it really looked like Bunny just had, I don't know, it didn't seem like he had any idea how to handle like Lilbow's style there.
Yeah, and that's like one of the things that we've also been talking about in this tournament. We got to keep bringing it up. The Frenchies are on the rise in the non-Korean StarCraft community. We just saw Marine Lord 2-1 Liquid Hero in a pretty dominating fashion.
Yeah, big time.
It was really good to see, and it just keeps me more excited for these French players moving forward, especially if Lilbow is able to take this series back.
Yeah, that's right. He is down a game currently to Bunny, which is a pretty big thing as well. That's why he looks so tense when we actually got a view of him, just waiting for the next game to happen. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to getting into this.
Yeah, I just want to see what these two players can do. Can Lilbow make the big comeback and win 2 in a row? It's going to be pretty hard, especially with Bunny already up a game.
Yeah, I think the implications of this tournament so far have been pretty crazy as we wait to get into this next game. Some of the other upsets, for those of you who have not been able to catch all the action that's going on. Of course, Arium finishing first place in his group after defeating both Bunny and Lilbow. Pretty impressive on its own. We also had Harstum to Ogumiho and get out of his group in first place.
Man.
So
the year of Harstum.
So suddenly we're looking at the possibility of these first and second seeds in the round of 32. We've got possibilities of like Fantasy playing Gumiho early on in that round of 32 bracket. Of course, Fantasy making it out of his group in first place. But these things have been shaking up a little bit here at DreamHack already.
I mean, that's kind of the traditional DreamHack. Like, during the group stages, you always see, a foreigner come out and take a series you wouldn't expect them to take. The question really is, like, how do they perform in the bracket stage when you got to play the long series, the best of 5s? But to be honest, like, at DreamHack, it's where this kind of thing always happens.
Yeah, this is the tournament where we usually get to see that extra bit of magic. But it looks like we're actually ready to go into game 2 now. So I'm going to send it off to you, Moonglade and Valdez. Let's see who's going to make it out of this group.
Welcome, guys, over here to the caster side of the desk. We're about to jump into game number 2. As Nate just mentioned, it's going to be a big one.
Oh,
Moonglade.
man,
I cannot
be a huge
wait.
one. Yeah, it's 2 of the best foreigners going head-to-head. At this stage of the tournament, it's kind of unheard of, but, Arium just threw a wrench into the works and completely messed up their run.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen with that kid once he hits 16. He can go a bunch to all the tournaments, essentially, and really make some waves.
It's so funny that this is like the one tournament he can go to, and he just wrecks everything for WCS.
He like ruins WCS in one fell swoop. It's
their
like,
careers, their lives, Valdez.
Thanks, Arium. Up here in the top left in the red, our Protoss player. He is, of course, Lilbow.
Down a game. Looking a little frustrated here. There's Arium in the back. Down here in the bottom right, Liquid Bunny. Up a game. Has to win this one, and he's through. Very intense game.
Yeah, looking confident there, sitting down.
I wish we had an idea of what happened in game 1, just so we could, follow the storyline a little bit, follow like where their mindset is at right now, what style perhaps Bunny is using this series.
Yeah, funny that we jump into Coda here for Game 2, but it turns out to be the first one of this series that we're going to watch. It's been that way so far for 3 series in a row.
It's the salmon curse, Valdez. We're just bringing it from Korea.
Whoever made this map is definitely very happy at this point in time.
Hey, it's not a bad map either. You know, I'm a fan of this map. It's generally what we see Terrans kind of have a lot of success on as well, which is, looking at it, kind of scary for Lilbow right now.
Yeah. Terrans, I'm sure, loving this map pool so far. They get a lot of very, very strong maps. Talking about Dash and Terminal, we haven't seen that yet.
Hopefully
for a good reason, I think.
we never do, Valdez. Let's just be real for 1 second here.
Being straight up in the lid. So we did see on this map already a PvT. It was Hero versus Marine Lord, Liquid Hero. Liquid Hero is really able to go with this harass heavy style. War Prisms into the main, Blink Stalkers at the third base, War Prism going to the natural, and Marine Lord really couldn't handle it.
Yeah, he fell apart early, and from there, like, he just couldn't get it back. And Hero was overly aggressive that game as well. You know, like, when we think about it, like, he was so aggressive. And both game 1 and 2, and in game 3, not as much, but still, like, just really great play from Marine Lord dealing with that.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy he gets through because, as you mentioned in the interview, he's really strong against Zerg. He wants to hit Zergs, but he gets through the Protoss, which he said was his worst matchup. So it's really going to give him a decent shot as long as he can hit some Zergs. I mean, there's more Zergs here than Terrans, at least.
Yeah, certainly a lot of strong Zergs. But looking at this game, we are seeing that Reaper opening from Bunny. Getting a scout early with the SCV as well. Get an idea of what's going on here.
Yeah, Lilbow on the other side of things is playing pretty standard as well, going for the Zealot here, just in case of an eBay block. 2 probes coming down here, trying to block that from happening.
Yeah, smartly so. And as Waxandra did add in earlier, like the last time these guys played a best of 5, it was Lilbow that was winning that 3-1.
Yeah.
So no doubt Bunny really went back and kind of figured out what he did wrong that series, and so far up a game. See if he's actually fixed it up and can throw it out for a 2-0 here.
And I think he definitely can, as long as he plays that very drop-heavy style. This is kind of a hard map to get all your units in place to deal with that. But Core, in the meantime, popping out just in time to deal with this Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper just kind of getting a scout. What he can. No doubt knows that there's a Nexus down there as well. He's trying to get around here. Not really a Sim City that we usually do see from Korean players, mostly. We usually see like a nice block off with the Cyber and Gateway and Pylon to stop that Reaper getting towards the back.
Yeah, it almost looks like he tried to make one up towards the top, but that's not totally sealed. So a bit unfortunate there. But after all, he is going to hold this off with the Melissa Core at least. Just being annoying for now is Liquid Bunny. Once that Stalker comes out, should be able to force the Reaper out of the base.
Yeah, not really finding too much. I guess he knows where the pylons are. The back one's going to be the tricky one to scout. So we do see that Twilight already going down there now that the Stalker is out.
It'll be very interesting to see him go for like fast blink on this map. It's not too bad. You can't blink straight into the main and totally forego trying to, you know, just push it in towards the front of the natural at that choke.
Yeah, there's a lot of avenues. We do see this the Blink Stalker play come out on these kind of maps like King Sejong Station as well. And, these backdoor maps where there's potential for multiple angles of harassment. Plus, you know, it's going to help out in shutting down these drops, which we're going to see pretty early on from Bunny. Already making that starport now.
Very, very fast blink coming in here from Lilbow. To be expected with that Twilight Council being dropped so fast. See what kind of pressure he decides to put on. Here come the first 2 Hellions coming across the map. We saw Marine Lord not able to do too much damage with this, but he got a decent scout at least.
Yeah, maybe this time. I mean, there's no block on the ramp for starters, which is what we saw Hero deal with it as. Just one Stalker out in the open. Maybe he'll force the vote on overcharge if there's enough energy.
I think the Hellions should just be able to get straight in the main if they want to. They're going to go for some economic damage instead here at the natural.
Oh, they could find a few, actually. Not really any micro, no splitting. Some pretty weak ones.
Looks like he gets 3 in total. At the same time, a Reaper in the back door.
Might get a couple more.
And he gets the full scout at the same time, which is the very important thing. Sees the 2 extra gateways, the blink on the way.
So 4 workers go down, and look at that. A tank out this early on as well.
Yeah, and not just one tank, Moonglade. There's a second tank on the way.
Yeah, we're seeing that 1-1-1 style, which is very rare in this matchup these days compared to a lot of others. Mostly Bios is the most common one, but this is really interesting coming from Bunny.
Yeah, well, at least he's going to be pretty efficient at dealing with this blink play, especially getting the bunkers in perfect position, in perfect time. I think Bunny should be totally safe to hold any kind of pressure off here.
He's certainly read this, and Lilbow is one of these Protoss that are very aggressive, and no doubt probably expected something like this on this kind of map as well. So very smart choice. Now seeing him going into Colossus behind this as well. That Robo be going down.
Nice little pylon placement there from Lilbow. I don't think he's going to place much over there. It's just going to be a pretty forward warping point. Although he is keeping the probe over there, so there is potential, I suppose. Maybe a Dark Shrine if he wants to be, you know, incredibly sneaky.
That would be pretty sneaky, Valdez. I don't know if that might be a little too close.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to see him do it, but...
Yeah, well, maybe it's going to be another pylon down here. Just slowly creeping them a little bit forwards as he can, and so we can go for that maybe Blink Stalker harassment soon. Just playing very defensively from here, and 2 Forges going down. So Lilbow does want to take it to the late game. He wants to slow things down, go into Colossus from here now that the Blink got scouted. Double upgrades.
Just kind of transition into a bit of a standard CJ Hero play. Just get your double upgrades, get your Colossi out. Not a bad idea. You will have those extra gateways that you got pretty fast when you were trying to go for that early aggression. You can get some Stalkers out regardless.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the thing is as well is like, is this too greedy for what we see Bunny be doing right now? You know, he's going for that style. He's adding in tanks. He's adding in that Raven as well. Vikings are being made. He can go for a very scary timing when the time comes. Maybe it's going to be a little too greedy going for these double upgrades and Colossus at the same time. We'll see actually when Bunny wants to be aggressive.
Yeah. The other really cool part of this build, which we do always see with this build, is the Raven add-in. It's so strong at denying the Protosses any kind of vision. Usually the Protosses want to get out a lot of observers to stop the drops, just for some decent vision, not to get too pulled out of position. But the Raven is already going to snipe one. And we do see that Lilbow at this time is not making any further observers, just going to make straight Colossi as he does need them. Yeah,
just going to rely on these Stalkers in the middle of the map to kind of identify what's coming his way. He did scout the tanks. He probably knows exactly what's going on here, which is maybe even why we are seeing him Chrono Boost out the Charge Lot upgrade. You know, he wants to make sure he has that available so when the engagement comes, he can try and tie up those tanks.
Yeah, it's pretty smart. You know, maybe after like 3 Colossi, he transitions into some Immortals as well to deal with the high number of tanks. But I'm also curious to see how far Liquid Bunny is going to go with that. By the way, nice delay here on the 3rd base. Liquid Bunny trying to put it down there in position. Yeah. But yeah, we do see Bunny at this point kind of transitioning straight into Bio. No more tanks coming out. Maybe going to stop at around 3.
Yeah, that's probably a safe choice. We'll find out soon. Exactly how many. I think he's like 3, 4. But he certainly stopped at this point, just going back into the Bio Medivacs. And
he's actually got 5. More than even
one in the main base looks like it's there to defend against any sort of Blink Stalker, perhaps counter-attacking. But yeah, moving out just a little bit, maybe putting his presence on the map. Lilbow identifies this, but Lilbow is still sitting on 2 base. He's still preparing himself in case this comes his way. And we're seeing a lot of Zealots. They do have charge. Just Colossus range is a little bit late here.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. If they engage at this point in time, he's really going to want that, especially against all these tanks.
Yeah, that's actually a big problem here. Nice scans go down. He's going to set these tanks up in a pretty decent position around this ramp.
Some Stalkers running into some tank fire already. One of them getting very, very low. Only 1 Viking out of the map right now. He's making 2 at a time. He's going to need a lot of them to deal with this decently high number of Colossi. 3 of them already out on the map.
Now it gets a little bit tricky, Valdez, because he's setting up his tanks in a fantastic position, and especially with no Colossus range, there's no way he can try and snipe them. But the engagement is what really matters at this point.
Yeah. Did eventually finish up that range here. We do see, it looks like he's going to try to come from 3 different angles.
This is a pretty exposed Colossus. Can't go too far forwards, though. We do see Lilbow position himself in 3 different angles to attack this army.
He actually lost that Colossus, but here we go. Lilbow is going to push in here and try to go for all these tanks. The tank's kind of in the front, and a bunch of really great time warps coming down on the entire army.
Yeah, slowing down all those Marines, and that is mostly Marines as well. They're not going to last very long against these charge lots that do have the 1-1 upgrades. Everything kind of getting wiped out at this point. We do see Medivacs, Medivacs are fleeing, but there's Vikings trying to DPS down these remaining Colossus.
Yeah, the target fire not the best here. Both of them may even survive. One does just barely go down. The other one is so low. Which is a slightly better targeting here. He may have been able to get it, but here he finally gets it. the small force of Bio.
Yeah, still kiting these Zealots. He's actually going to run out of steam here. Do you see Lilbow warping in some stuff from the sides, though? 2 Archons and some a number of Zealots.
Yeah, really comes back to that fantastic pylon placement from so early on in the game. There it is, it's still there.
Yep.
And that's how you get that great reinforcement potential. Lilbow wants to put an end to this game. He's coming up the natural ramp.
Oh, man, this is a bad place for Bunny to be. He's going to have to pull the SCVs, but he's pulling them against Archons as well. Not a good place to be. It looks like he's going to try and engage carefully here. Big stim comes in.
Coming down, but just so much Protoss at this point in time. The Archon getting into the mix, doing that splash damage against those SCVs. Getting a decent position here is Bunny, but he just doesn't have that much to deal with this Protoss army.
It looks like he might be able to fight it off. There's a lot of bio remaining, and don't forget that Bunny is up a base. He's had that orbital for quite some time, and there was some Zealots nearby, but not choosing to harass them economically either. He's going to beat him back for now.
Yeah, the supply difference you see here, guys, is that it's because Bunny only has 23 workers at this point in time. He's got a pretty strong army, actually, against what Lilbow has.
Yeah, that army supply is huge.
Lilbow's desperately trying to get out some AoE at this point in time. He's got 2 Colossi.
Just kind of lacking in the buffering right now for them. He's got a number of Zealots to the left side here, and looks like he's going to fish for a big drop. Going to be heading towards that main base. We do see Blinkstalkers looking for something. And that third only just finishing now for Lilbow, so he's going to even up on bases, but there's a lot of potential here for a drop to just deny it once again.
Yeah, he definitely could put on the pressure here if he does see that opening. He's
Oh,
preparing for it.
He's looking for it here. That is a scary drop. Going for even the natural or the third.
He's going into a bunch of stalkers, but he's got so many units dropping in here to the third. And Lilbow's army kind of separated at this point in time.
Everything kind of getting DPS down here. The Stalkers moving back. One Colossus.
Oh, and it survives. It survives, and there's so many Zealots in the front to tank.
Oh,
GG,
wow.
Lilbow takes game number 2. Unbelievable, man.
Unbelievable, Valdez. Somehow, very close game. He identified in decent enough time the composition we did see from Bunny. Those tanks as well.
Yeah.
Despite having a good position, the upgrade advantage for Lilbow and just the positional, those great time warps as well, just kind of ended up crushing that army completely.
Yeah, Lilbow looking strong there in that game number 2. We're going to be jumping into game number 3 very shortly here to decide who is going to make it to the round of 32. As we mentioned before, so many WCS points on the line for both these guys. They're both so close to qualifying for BlizzCon.
Yeah, they're sitting just outside that top 16, and obviously getting far in this tournament is going to do them so much so much good.
Yeah. You know, round of 32 is only the first spot, and having this rough of a series this early on is definitely going to put a toll on these two guys. You know, both very strong players, and you can see it here. I mean, the games are very even. Fighting
to be the foreigner hope as well. Like, these guys are neck and neck. They keep trading series. No doubt, Lilbow claiming the last one in that best of 5 in WCS, but this time around, you know, it is very close. Very evenly skilled players.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get into this third game. It looks like it is going to be Iron Fortress, the map for game number 3.
Oh, yeah. We are seeing that kind of a theme behind for this matchup as well.
Yeah. Don't get to see many of the new maps. I'm very curious, actually, to know what the first map was. May have been one of the newer maps.
Might have been. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Could have been.
One day we'll find out, Valdez.
One day we'll find out and let you guys know.
Certainly not Dash and Terminal, I'll tell you that much.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, we're about to jump into game 3 here, guys. Definitely tell your friends to tune into the stream. We got some great games coming at you live here from DreamHack.
That's right, Valdez. We made it to DreamHack, mate.
Yeah?
We finally made it. It's good to be here.
Yeah?
It's really fun to cast these foreign players, you know, once in a while as well. You know, it's great to see them. And there's Bunny getting ready. Very stressful time. Can't really express how stressful this is. This is like not only their tournament live, which that means they've traveled all the way to Valencia and now they're out of the tournament in day 1. But, you know, there's so much WCS points on the line. No doubt that both these players can make it pretty deep as well. You know, there's certainly, if they can get past this hurdle, the best foreigner they're playing against each other, if they get past this, they probably have a pretty easy sort of ride to the top 16 at least.
Well, you know, we'll see who they face.
Unless they get like an unlucky sort of Korean bracket, maybe.
It's possible. You know, a lot of the Korean players, the strongest ones to get first out of the group. So if they get out here in second, they may even have a tough ride there in the round of 32.
Yeah, or even if they run into Arium again, man, like maybe he's just going to knock him out.
Guy just punches him out once again. Makes it look easy. Anyway, guys, we're going to jump into game number 3 right away on Iron Fortress. Down here in the bottom left, in the teal this time, the Protoss player, it is Lilbow.
Down here in the bottom right, we do have blue Terran player, Bunny from Team Liquid. Losing that last game. Interesting style, interesting composition, but Lilbow had the answer to it.
Getting the camera in his face, there's Bunny. I'm sure he doesn't even realize it.
I'm sure he
so
does, and I'm sure he's really angry about it. These things, Valdez.
Well, you could speak from a former pro player's standpoint. I'm sure you know.
Anyone next to me or near me while I'm trying to play a game of StarCraft, man.
Oh, yeah. But I'm sure some people are more sensitive to that than others well.
I was certainly...
You're a little sensitive for a game.
I was a little sensitive boy, man. Anyone that got near to me while I was trying to micro...
You just hiss at them?
Yeah, like, get away from my mouse. Don't touch my mouse pad.
Yeah, man. Interesting, where those guys are playing from. You can definitely get a lot of people watching from behind all those games, just to add to the extra pressure if you weren't already fighting for your possible BlizzCon chances here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's...
you might as well just have 5 people standing right behind you, like, looking,
That's true. Well, here we go again. Got the gas going on for Bunny here. See what his choice is going to be. This is not a bad map to go Hellions on once again. We did see it when Marine Lord played against Liquid Hero. It is because it is such an open map that it does make a lot of sense. You can go for run-bys. You can kind of take the map control for some time.
Yeah, looks like Liquid Bunny going to get a bit unlucky with the scout here going all the way up to the top right, and maybe even to the top left. It's going to be a while before he gets the information. Maybe he'll send the Reaper to the left side of the map. Yeah,
look at that. It's going to be a Reaper to open things up. So going to go for the scout here. Let's see if he transitions early, maybe into Hellions, or maybe he'll just play a normal game. Necessarily doesn't have to play that style.
And look at this out of Lilbow. He's getting that second gas very, very early. We're going to see some early tech out of this guy. No fast expand on this map, it turns out. It's a pretty big map, but very interested to see what he's going to go for. Only putting 2 guys in the gas there.
Yeah.
Not going to go full gas mining just yet. Going to have 5 of 6.
Yeah, still, he's playing that greedy style. He's going to try for early Nexus as well.
Looks like he's just going for a very fast Mothership core. And already rallied, it looked like, in the correct direction. Or actually, he's just going to come out here and defend for now.
Yeah, Reaper's going to find this probe as well, so no scouting for him. Once again, a nice SimCity this time around. Something we didn't see last game from Lilbow. He's going to completely block off this Reaper from scouting at least the top side.
Yeah, maybe just a bit easier on this map to get that wall up. And yeah, totally denies the scout behind the minerals here.
Ooh, it's going to be a Stargate for this as well. Reaper's looking for it. It's not going to find a way in there.
It's going to be pretty rough. At this point, you definitely would want to try to even sacrifice the Reaper at this point to try to get some scouting down. You really want to know what the Protoss is going for. So many options.
He poked in hard there. He went right up to the pylon, but still couldn't find a way in. Yeah. He could stack that Reaper, but at the same time, it does completely give up map control or even map scouting. He doesn't have a chance to see anything that comes out. Any probes that might want to come out. Gets really close once again.
The positioning on that Stargate is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's just out of the range.
Literally just out of range.
Just barely.
Very well thought out. And it's going to be that Oracle.
That's going to be a fast Oracle.
Oh, and what do we have from Bunny currently to kind of answer for this? He doesn't know exactly what it is.
He's got 4 Marines out on the map at this point in time. But even a Mothership core, if you send that over, looks like he's just going to send the Oracle for now and try to get a bunch of damage down. We do have Woodamines also coming out on the map here for Liquid Bunny. We'll see where he decides to place those.
Yeah, let's see if he puts it in a good place. He tries to hide it behind a refinery or in the mineral line. It's going to keep him alive for a little bit longer, keep those SCVs alive. And there it is. Great placement for it. It's a little bit obvious, though, if an SCV isn't mining at that patch when the Oracle gets near it.
Yep. Here comes Lilbow with his Oracle.
Not fishing for the Marines either.
Reaper coming in here. He's going to get the full scout of the base at the same time. And Lilbow really not finding any damage with that Oracle.
No, just keeping it on the map. Too paranoid of any mine placements. Not committing to anything here. Just going to keep it on the map. All right, so he can use it for defense and for detection as well. And revelation a little bit later in case he wants to know exactly where the Buyer army is.
Yeah. Here come the first couple of Woodamines in the medevac. He's already got 1 Phoenix out here, Lilbow does. Looks like he's only going to commit to 1 for now. And that's definitely going to help out with at least lifting 1 of those Widow Mines coming in here.
Yeah, let's see how on point he is. There comes the boost. 2 mines going to go down in that natural.
There they go. Immediate photon overcharge. Trying to focus one down. The shot only gets 1 probe, and the other one does get lifted. So a really clean up there from Lilbow.
Clean defense and not losing that Oracle, which is what we saw Hero do when he was up against that drop.
And even the Phoenix on the hunt for this medevac, it's getting pretty close.
But Data's going to get it there. Marines are in position. Oh, Widowmine going to clean up the Phoenix. Ooh. That was a mishap. That was a big mistake there.
Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate, it seems.
It's going to make any sort of follow-up drops that much easier when you don't have a Phoenix chasing your army and lifting up mines. I'm sure Bunny's going to be happy about that one.
Really needs to get the repair on that medevac at the same time. Doesn't want to go in with the medevac that low with Marines. You know, even just a couple of stalkers in position can really take that out pretty fast. There we go. Repair coming down.
Man, it'd be crazy if Reapers could repair. I think that'd be in balance. Valdez.
It's a little extra tool, maybe in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah. It's already got grenades now, I think, in Legacy. So got some stuff going on. Now seeing +1 attack, actually. Blink and Colossus come out here. You know, that could mean aggression is on the cards for Lilbow at this point.
Yeah, you know, something we talk about a lot on this map. It's pretty hard to get that third base up. It's pretty out there, and some good drops out of the turn can definitely punish it. So maybe deciding to go for a bit of a 2-baser here. Gonna add a couple more gateways. He has stopped at 48 workers, not producing any more.
Yeah, this is looking like he might be gearing up for it. We do see a Widowmine sitting at that third base, so Bunny's gonna have a fair idea of exactly what's going on. He'll be like, okay, you're not taking the third base. You're sitting on 2. You got an idea you're gonna be aggressive sometime. Oh. Nice revelation on the entire army.
That's perfect. I also want to point out that pretty much only Marines here in this army at this point. He is getting double Viking out at this point on the reactor starports, so should have maybe 4 or 6 by the time this hits, but at the same time, a lot of Marines that can just be swiped by a couple of Colossi. Yeah,
this is a good read by Bunny. Getting out the Vikings this early on is kind of extremely unusual. Normally you'd see Terran players go for bio for, you know, half the games, keep applying aggression, and losing a Stalker a little too early there. Blink isn't on the cards yet. Gonna clean it up with the Oracle, but it's important that he gets rid of this mine simply because it's scouting the third base. He knows exactly what is going on with the economy of Lilbow. Keep calling Lilbow. I want to say Lil Bow Wow, but it's just
Lil Bow Wow.
Lil Bow Wow, man. But I think it's Lilbow.
Bit of a tribute to our favorite '90s rapper there.
Oh yeah, man. Still listen to him to this day.
Yeah.
Fantastic music.
They're
not exactly what Lilbow was thinking when he made this name.
For sure.
I was seeing 4 Vikings fly around, maybe look for something, maybe look for that Oracle.
At this point, Lilbow still not taking that third base, still on 50 workers, and the range is about to finish up here, as well as maybe a 3rd or even 4th Colossus at this point. Yeah, so we have a pretty strong army.
Considering how many Vikings are out right now, and oh, look at this. If they get picked off by Blink Stalkers, this couldn't be worse.
Maybe able to get one?
Yeah,
there he goes.
One goes down. Scan as well. Just looking in case there was an army sitting at the top of that ramp.
Nice little snipe there. I'm sure he's going to target those units and say, oh, you've got +1, you still haven't taken a third base. I wonder what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Bunny is expecting some aggression here.
Yeah, I think he's kind of read it at this point. He knows what's going on. He's making a lot of Vikings from 2 starports. He's keeping the army safe. He's not even committing to drops because he knows that Lilbow is just not taking a third base.
Yeah. I'm really liking Bunny's position, actually, in this game. It's really going to come down to the engagement as well. You know, if you can get some good Colossi swipes in this army, and also a lot of Stalkers in the mix here for Lilbow.
Here we go. Oracle committing to a lot of harassment here, getting a nice revelation before getting shot down. It's going to give the Stalkers another opportunity to hunt them down.
Yeah.
Scan goes down. He sees the warp in. He knows he's coming.
Yeah. Misses the army, though. But I'm sure he's got an idea they're somewhere out on the map. The one thing for Lilbow, he doesn't have a forward pylon at this point. He's trying to set one up, as we do see here. It is queued up. A nice little blink, trying to poke at some of those Terran units before the fight even happens.
Yeah, that is a lot of Marines in this composition as well, which is going to favor the Colossus. Pulling the boys now. Is he going to pull them from the third? I think he has to. If he can clean up this army, he wins the game. If he can kill all the Colossus and wipe out the ground, you know, there's no real comeback for Lilbow. As long as he doesn't throw away too many SCVs, I guess. But even then, it'd be such a great position. There we go. Pulling the third as well.
There we go.
Good position on these Vikings.
Fantastic time warps coming down there. A huge blink forward, really trying to target those, but a move command actually on the Colossi getting really close to all of the bio. They all get wiped out.
Yeah, this is simply too much. So much bio around the right side. One Colossus remains, but it's just not enough DPS.
That's going to be it, man. It looks like Bunny is going to move on here. The rest of the Protoss army getting cleaned up at this point. Did lose a bunch of workers for it, but it doesn't matter. Totally cleaned up. The game is over, as you said. GG.
Yep. Very well played from Bunny. Great reading of the strategies coming from Lilbow.
Yeah, very, very smart Terran play there.
Shutting it down what he had to do. So looks like Lilbow is out of this tournament, man. He's not going to gain any more WCS points for this one. Bunny is, though, still in it. He's going to try and go far. And pretty ruthless tournament. Pretty ruthless that they got into the same group, you know. It
really is.
Very unlucky.
And it looks like Bunny didn't even go over there to shake his hand. He's just like coming all the way over here. He's like, I want to get that interview down.
Yeah, he's got things to say, Valdez.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
I'm really excited to see what he has to say about that series, actually.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know. I want him to tell us what happened in game one, but we just didn't see it.
Yeah, that too, you know.
Take us through the storyline of game number one, would you?
That could be question number one. You can tell that one.
I'm sure he'd love that too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Well, we're about to get into that interview. You see Bunny walking over here right now, preparing for this.
Indeed, sir. It's going to be interesting to see what he has to say and how he's feeling about this tournament and his form so far.
Yeah. Well, taking that win, I'm sure he's going to be extremely motivated to move on. You know, already, as you said, taking out a big opponent, a big foreign opponent. You know, we'll see how he does in the next bracket, see who he matches up against in the brackets.
Yeah. I also want to hear about how he feels about Arium. Like, losing that series to him like that is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's great to see an American play so well, though. You know, it's great to see him go far in this tournament. And hopefully, we see him. We get to cast some of his games in the future here.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I really want to see how he's playing. You know, what allowed him to take down those two extremely strong opponents.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, we're going to jump into that interview right now with our winner, Liquid Bunny.
Thank you very much, Valdez and Moonglade. Welcome to the DreamHack Open Valencia 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to hear from our winner of that decider match. Bunny, that's there's a lot on the line here at this tournament. You got to be feeling the heat.
Yeah, of course it's very important because of the WCS points and stuff. This is one of the rare tournaments I go to outside of WCS that actually has the WCS points. So.
Yeah, we were talking a bit about this before we brought you on. I think we'd all like to know, we didn't get to see game one on the mainstream. Was it similar to 2 or 3? Anything cool happen?
It was actually similar to game 2 with the tanks and stuff. On Dash and Terminal, it works really well because of the way the natural is positioned. There's like the cliff that you can abuse. And that game he tried to play aggressive, and the tanks are really good at defending anything that he tried to do.
Oh, it's pretty cool. Did you guys have anything in particular you wanted to ask about?
Yeah, when you lost to Lilbow at WCS, did you feel like that was due to your mistakes on your behalf, or do you think did you make any adjustments?
I think it was because of my play style. I tried to play very aggressive, and I would always attack into him, when in reality he likes to play very low tech and very aggressive. So I just decided this time I should try to defend more. So that's what I did in every game. I played really defensive openings.
Yeah, he seems like a very aggressive sort of player in general, so defending against that sort of style. In Game 3, did you expect that 2-base Colossus timing to occur? Like, were you just waiting for that to happen?
Yeah, I sort of expected it because at WCS, he kind of faked a 3rd base and then went for the 2-base all-in on that map, and I've seen him do it in some other games as well. So I thought I would just stay on one eBay, no armory, make double starport, lots of Vikings and stuff. So I did really kind of blind counter it.
Yeah. Yeah, thought you might have an idea because you had that mine sitting at the 3rd base for so long and you just had no intention of taking it. And the map is so big, so it kind of makes sense that maybe he would be a little aggressive on it on 2-base.
Yeah, it's also hard to take your 3rd on that map because it's so far away from the natural.
Yeah, right.
So before WCS, you kind of had a de facto title of like best foreign player, and then you sort of lost it to Lilbow there. Who do you think holds the title now?
I don't know. Maybe Arium?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't get to see too many American players, especially putting results up here, outside. I felt like that kind of is what made this group so interesting, was that the two of you who would be way statistically favored over him actually both dropping series, and that's what kind of turned it into this knife fight between you and Lilbow. How was your series against REM? Are you looking to avoid him hopefully in this tournament?
No, not really. Those games were just really weird. There was one game on Moonlight Madness with one base Tempest where it ended up he had like and the game ended like he had a Tempest at half health and I had like nothing left. He had only one unit.
Oh man.
And then there was like a Blink all in that I lost to. So that was a really crazy series.
Okay, glad to know the American pride is still bringing in the cheddar. I guess. Is there anything else that you want to say, or are there any players in particular that you're looking forward to playing, a particular matchup as we move on to the run of 32?
Not really. I think I kind of like to play some Zergs. I think TVC is pretty interesting on these maps. So they're so weird, so different. I'd like to avoid the Korean turns like Teja, Fantasy, Kumio, those guys, because I usually lose.
Very, very similar feedback from Marine Lord, hoping to play those TVZs. Looking forward. Thank you very much for your thoughts, Bunny. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we are going to kick off our round of 32 matches here at the DreamHack Open 2015 Valencia. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.